So the Germans, obliged to assist the Central Powers in the south, is pushing forward in the north. Oh, what's that unit doing? Okay, so he's part of the cordon here. So these are entrenched, these are mobile, entrenched. This city is well and truly theirs. They have to keep it garrisoned. And these ones, they're ignoring Lebau here, and they're going straight for Riga here on the way towards Petrograd. There is some siege artillery there, and we've got 2 siege artillery here. Some shuffling of forces after reorganisation freed up corps to move around here. This headquarters is coming round. Sorry, that was all off camera for you. Sorry about the glare, it's terrible. So essentially they're moving up artillery siege equipment to try and take this industrial centre as soon as they can, and shifting units around to support the Austro-Hungarians, whilst maintaining a cordon. That one was entrenched. Whilst maintaining a bit of a cordon up here. And there was some thought of cutting the rail lines to take, but these being industrial cities, that wouldn't take those rush units out of supply. The main decision that I had, the main sort of difficult decision I had, was where to put the air force, because they either needed it down here to assist the Austro-Hungarians in where to attack, or up here to check what's going on, or more likely up here. But seeing as there's only one impulse this season, brought it down here. And so that we're going to look at one of these stacks, and if it's large we'll attack the other one. Okay, so we could get we looked at this one using the air unit, and we could get 1-to-1 odds, which might be worth it for a probe, which could potentially move it back. Still risky. On a 1 we would get some losses, but because of the winter weather, which gives a left shift that's of 2 in fact on the east front, it's just not worth it. So no attacks by the Central Powers this season. Okay, my battery's about to conk out, but just quickly before we go, there's actually no battles from the Entente, just some reorganisation on the Western Front, and siege artillery went into action to no effect. Bit of movement there by the Brits, hoping to sort of move around if they can. And that, I think, is it. Just some reorganisation of all units to make them more effective in what they can concentrate in any one hex. Mainly by the Russians down here, that is where they're thinking that they can press. And so that failed siege, that's the only other thing of note for the Entente. So we've come to the end of the turn. I've done the various mobilisation calculations and spendings, always great fun. The most notable things are that Germany has saved up 53 mobilisation points to go to the next turn. So they gave some to the Austro-Hungarians, the Austro-Hungarians gave some to the Ottomans. So the Ottoman Empire has very few, only has 1 industrial centre. You need 8 points to build 1 division of infantry, and the smallest unit is 2 divisions. So it's going to take them a while, but now they've got some more, they can hopefully bring on 1 more unit. The notably on the Entente side, due to them having successfully rolled for their poison gas weapons development, the French went all out and brought 5 poison gas points, and the British 1. So that's 6 different poison gas attacks they have, and those are probably going to be happening on the Western Front. Maybe we'll give some to the Russians as well. Yeah, everybody generally got in some new reinforcements, some just an assortment of transports. One was already there, submarines bought by either side, and the French Navy's coming back up. All the navies are looking pretty smart, including even the Austro-Hungarian. They just got cruiser in, and you can see the Germans have organised this escort, so that's a fast interception force, which might come useful. We shall have to see. And I think that's it for the end of this turn. Yeah. One thing which I've done is I've moved this track, which is the Russian rail capacity is decreases each year, each turn in fact, and I've been forgetting about it, so they can only transport a certain number of units, and you can track it on that track. That is important because you can see they're having to shift units around a lot, so I do need to keep track of that. And final point of note was that in the final political events phase, which is also always fun, the Entente got friction 2. They rolled partisans, and that gives them 2 partisan units. So I plonked them down here. There's already one in Montenegro, but that is still a neutral country. And oops, I plonked them down on their hidden side. So they can go underground, in which case they have no effect and they cannot be affected. So that with that they can move around undetected. But otherwise on this side they only have a strength of 1, but they block all enemy movement into that hex. So the Serbian partisans there are blocking the Austro-Hungarians, thwarting their plans to eradicate the army. The Austro-Hungarians can go in and fight them. If they destroy them, then it's a morale point for each one that's destroyed for their side, because you put atrocity markers down there where it's counted as an atrocity. So that will cost the Austro-Hungarians 2 morale points if they want to do that. The only real reason for conquering Serbia is to get the morale points for in fact it will not surrender. I can't figure out how it surrenders. Yes, I suppose it could surrender in revolution. So you could get minus 10 points, but that would cost them 2 points. So that's only minus 8. So you can see with a bit of, well, no, you can't calculate that because they only come on a die roll. But anyway, it's going to make it less great for the Austro-Hungarians, and also to delay them if they do continue capturing Serbia. They might actually do a swing about, forget Serbia, and bring units up there. But then, of course, the Serbians will invade Austro-Hungary. So anyway, that's the end of winter 1915. So we go into spring 1915. Italy is joining the Entente. And British 1914 reinforcements may leave Britain. Oh dear, I probably already made them leave Britain. I shall check that. There's a few still in Britain, but we'll better check that. And production, now that the epidemic has gone down, goes up to 8. So people are ramping up, countries are ramping up production, except for the Russians. They're still only on the starting 4. So that will be interesting as the mobilisation points head up. Bigger units will be being built. Essentially, the Germans had enough to build 2 infantry. Where is it? To build 4 infantry divisions. That's two division corps there. This turn. Oh, anyway, you get the general picture, I guess. So that's all I can say, except we've looked at this already, but yes, what I noticed was the Entente desperately need transports, because they have to keep transports out here to bring these forces in. They also want transports so that they can make amphibious landings, and then they also need transports like they have a transport in this fleet to keep them supplied. Now the Austro-Hungarians might well threaten with their fleet up here in Pola, but of course, I forgot that Italy's coming in now, so I guess they will be able to keep the Austro-Hungarians bottled up. But actually, thinking about that, the first impulse of the next turn, the Austro-Hungarian fleet can move into the Sea of Marmara, and then it will be safe for, I think that's safe, or even then right into the Black Sea, because we know there's no Russian fleet there now. And there are two cruisers, the two cruisers there successfully survived attrition, but you can see the Russians, sensing the danger, reinforced. Okay, that's it, over and out for now.